Hi folks, Wooden Boat Dan. Thought I would just share with you a little tip that I learned just in the last couple of days. I've been fiberglassing the bottom of my boat, my scamp, and cleaning up small epoxy runs and things like that. Sometimes you want to sand a very small area of epoxy, and you don't want to get the surrounding areas because there's wood there that's softer, and you're going to sand a divot into the wood because the epoxy is much harder. So you just need a very select area of sanding, just a small point. So I came up with an idea here that I'm going to share with you. So let's go for it here. So here I've got a stir stick, which is, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches long, or you could call it a tongue depressor, whatever you want it. So it's a very thin piece of wood, very flexible. And here I've got a roll of 80 grit gold adhesive sandpaper. And so what I'm going to do is take a little bit of the sandpaper and put it onto my tongue depressor. So I'm going to put one edge of the tongue depressor under here like this, and I'm doing this with one hand, which is a little bit awkward, and then I'm going to fold that over like that. I got it on almost all the way, and then I'm going to fold this over again like this, and I'm going to break the sandpaper off here, tear it off. Again, I'm trying to film this. Okay, so now here I've got my tongue depressor with some of this rolled sandpaper that's adhesive on the back. And this is the kind of sandpaper that you use with these blocks like this, where you slap it on the bottom and tear it off, which works really cool if you haven't used that before. So now I've got my a tongue depressor with a little bit of sandpaper, and you can see over here I made a little repair here with my epoxy. It was on the edge and it dripped a little bit, so I'm going to use this tongue depressor to sand that area off with just barely touching the fiberglass cloth surrounding the repair. Okay, so here we go. Now this epoxy I just put on last night, and it's got 410 filler in it, which is a fairing compound, so it does sand pretty easily. So I'm just going to sand this down here. So there you can see I'm getting mainly just getting the area of the actual epoxy with this little piece of sandpaper here. I'm just going to touch that one more time. And so let's see here, get this little corner a little bit more. So you can see I barely touched the fiberglass cloth around that. If I had done this with my big sanding block, I would have just, made a big mess out of that whole area. So again, there's the repair sanded down, and I got a little corner there I don't like, but that's a different story. So anyway, that's it for today's tip. Hope you learned something, and tune in again to Wooden Boat Dan's YouTube channel when you get a chance. Thanks.